This is my 4-year-old agroforest, which consists of nurse trees around the edge to support the agroforest by bringing in nutrients and attracting pollinating insects. And then I have 5 lines of trees along swales with shrubs or grapevines in between, as well as nitrogen fixers. And in between every swale with trees, I have an alley crop of either nitrogen fixing cover crops, biomass accumulators, or flowers for bees. Behind me now, I've got a row of cherry trees with grapevines on this side and almonds with grapevines on the other side. And we're going through weeding those after we've trimmed, and we're going to add a little bit of compost because there were less shrubs planted here due to the grapevines. And then between cherry trees and the pistachios, we've got a rye cover crop, which is to grow biomass, to chop and drop here to try and improve the soil. Along this line, we have peach trees planted with red clover cover crop all the way along to try and help improve the nitrogen for these peach trees. I'm going to leave these to go to seed so we get them again next year. And above the red clover, we've got a meadow of wildflowers to try and attract bees. On this alley crop, between the swales, between the almonds and cherry, we put a compost pile here, and we're going to flip the compost all the way along the swale until it's at the other end, and then distribute it around the agroforest, and it will leave enriched soil behind it. Along this lower swale, I've got apples. So all the way it's apples, all different types. And then over to my left, on the bottom boundary, I've got different fruit trees just to make it more diverse, from hazels and figs, pistachio, pecan, all sorts. Actually, in this little food forest, this little agroforest, there are so many different types of species. We even have an alley crop here of white clover, which didn't establish as well as the red clover, but you can see it coming through, and that's going to seed for it to self-seed here. And on this side was another cover crop of lentils. Along this row on the edge, we've got 7 plum trees that all have plums which are different colours, different sizes, and ready at different times. All surrounded by all these great nitrogen fixers, and our pond here, which we've dug to harvest clay for building, gets filled from the ditch from the road and the overflow from the swales in the agroforest.